What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Broadway Joel, the voice of Dominican boxing. I have an interview scheduled for today, but I'm not so sure it's gonna happen. Uh, yeah, uh, uh, yeah. He said he's gonna hop on, but he's gonna hop on late. I'm just getting the message now. Uh, Hold on one second. Let me send him the link. My bad. Thing is, me and him were communicating. I know I said I was gonna go on at 12, but uh, yeah. All right. So yeah. So Cesar Rainman Francis, who just had a recent sensational knockout on that Pro Box card a couple weeks ago. He was born in Panama, but raised in Brooklyn, New York, my hometown. So coming off of a spectacular knockout, he's from my hometown. Although I'm the voice of Dominican boxing and he's Panamanian, I still got to show him love. He's from Brooklyn, and plus, like I said, just because I'm the voice of Dominican boxing, don't mean I only interview Dominican boxers. I have interviewed Herbert Cesar, who's an Olympic gold medalist from Brazil, and Michael Fox from America, Tevin Farmer from America. I've interviewed a few people who are not Dominicans, but he'll be another one on the books, just waiting on him to hop on. Al Simmons Hellspawn is saying, when is De Los Santos' next fight? Man, everybody's asking me about De Los Santos, man. I mean, he's not gonna fight this year, I could tell you that much. He's probably gonna fight sometime between January and February of next year. If I would, you know, to guess. And as far as opponent, I can't really say who his opponent is going to be. One, no deals are signed, so I definitely, can't tell you anything. And two, I was told a rumor as to who he's negotiating with, but I cannot talk about that. I was told that off record. So when things are told to you off record, you cannot say them on camera, nor in the chat, on Twitter, or on Instagram, or anything like that. So, but from what I heard, the people he's negotiating with. And by the way, I'm sorry. I know I usually do Spanish Salvador, and some of y'all maybe were expecting to do a Spanish segment, but I have an interview scheduled, and the interview is going to be in English. But damn, I lost track of what I was saying. What was I talking about? Somebody write in the chat. But yeah, De Los Santos, the person he's negotiating with, you guys are gonna like. If the fight happens, you guys are gonna be very impressed. I spoke to Steven Espinoza, president of Showtime, yesterday, as a matter of fact, and he told me that people at the network are very excited about him after his last performance. He has become a priority. They liked what they saw. They like the fact that he's in the lightweight division, a division that needs opponents for Tank. And also, and even the guys who aren't necessarily in with PBC or on Showtime, but there's guys like Loma and Haney, and this Ryan, this talent at 135 that they can have somebody to pit them against, and they really, really excited as to the prospect of who De Los Santos is. So I'm excited for his potential, and we'll see how they move him. Again, from what I'm hearing, he's going to fight sometime between January and February. Do you think Michelle Rivera is going to fight again this year? And do you think De Los Santos can beat Pitbull Cruz? I do not think Michelle Rivera will be fighting again this year. He'll be fighting sometimes in February, March, most likely around March. And as far as Pitbull Cruz, do I think De Los Santos beat Pitbull Cruz? I listen. I think Pitbull Cruz is so overrated, man. I think Pitbull Cruz is getting all this hype off of a close loss to Tank, who people say had a hurt hand going into the fight, or hurt his hand during the fight. I don't know. Point is, like your biggest, what you're known for is losing. Like, get out of here, man. Like, and then your next two fight, you fight two former featherweights in a Wash Gamboa, and then who do you fight? Eduardo Ramirez. I forget the guy's name. I think that's his name. Like, come on, man. I can't act like that. To me, Isaac Cruz is so overrated. He's short. He's a dirty fighter, and he only has one style of fighting. See, now De Los Santos, not only is he a puncher, he hasn't been able to showcase his skills, but he has skills. He has movement, and he's tricky. Uh, he has great footwork. The only thing that we have seen in that William Foster fight, which is his lone loss, we have seen him gas out. That Dominican curse definitely kicked in on him. But yeah, like we got to see a little bit more of Pitbull Cruz. I'm sorry, and I know you guys are probably saying like, oh, maybe we would have to see a little bit more of De Los Santos. But to me, that win against Rayo is better than any win Isaac Cruz got. You can make the argument that the Diego Magdaleno win is as impressive to a certain extent because it was a first round knockout, and Magdaleno's not a bum, but like Magdaleno got knocked out and destroyed by Teofimo Lopez. Teofimo Lopez was landing punches behind his back. Like I think that was a wash fighter, Diego Magdaleno, and I think De Los Santos stops Pitbull. You can't come forward to that kind of power. Because when you go forward, when you pressing and pressing and pressing, what you're doing is you're running into the power. And when you run into the power, that's when you get hurt, man. That's when you get hurt. Like a lot of times you'll get caught with the same punch, but if you were coming forward as the guy was throwing it, it's gonna land harder. A good example of that is Manny Pacquiao versus Juan Manuel Marquez. He kind of just ran into that shot and got hurt, got knocked out with one shot. And Marquez, although yes, he was a really good fighter, a good puncher, I wouldn't say he was a one-punch knockout type artist. And that's exactly what he did to Manny Pacquiao. So I think Pitbull runs into one and he gets KO'd. That's what I think happens. Yeah, some people think Pitbull Cruz has as much power as Tank. Oh, man. Some people think Pitbull Cruz has as much power as Tank. They even think he can easily beat Michelle, which is BS for Mexican fans. Listen, anybody who has said that Pitbull Cruz has as much power as Tank, I would stop talking boxing with them. Whoever you talking boxing with, and that's the kind of retort that they bringing back to you, yo, bro, just stop talking to them. You're not gonna learn nothing from them. And obviously, they're so hard-headed, they're not gonna learn nothing from you. You just walk away and stop talking boxing with that person, man. That is an asinine statement. As far as them thinking that Pitbull Cruz beats Michelle, listen, that they can have that opinion. I'm not as high on Pitbull Cruz as others, but to me, Michelle is a taller fighter. He has an educated jab, and he just has more skills. He has footwork. He has good defense. I just wish, the only thing I would say about Michelle, I just wish he had a little bit more power. Unfortunately, I feel like that's the only thing really missing from his game. I feel like his speed is good. I feel like his technique is good. His discipline is good. His conditioning is good. Just wish he had a little bit more power, or maybe even a lot more. I just feel like that's the only thing missing from his repertoire. I'm not sure if it's just something he doesn't have, or if he needs to learn how to sit down on his punches, or place his punches, or set traps and stuff like that. I think Michelle Rivera beats him. It just with the height advantage, man. Just with that jab, you keep him at a distance. There's no way. There's no way Pitbull Cruz could get past that jab. You can teach natural power and explosiveness. De Los Santos has all that. Plus, he has better footwork and hand speed than Cruz. I don't know about you. I don't know if you could teach power. I guess you meant you can't teach natural power and explosiveness. Yeah. And that's something De Los Santos got. De Los Santos got that power, man. De Los Santos be putting people to sleep. We saw that in the fight before Rayo. He had a fight where he lost to William Foster. His next fight, I forget the guy's name, and I believe it was an undefeated fighter, and he knocked him out in the second round, and it was a pretty nasty knockout too. He goes on and then destroys Rayo in 3 rounds. Like I love. Listen. De Los Santos is that's who Nesta Gibbs says that he's out of all the Dominicans, that's the one he's highest on. I spoke to Steven Espinoza literally yesterday, and he told me that he's going to be made a priority over at Showtime. They like him. They want to make him a player in the lightweight division. I'm excited as to what his prospects are in this in this. I was gonna say in this division, but no, just in his career, man. I'm interested in to see how he handles this recent upset. Does he take the ball and run with it, or does he kind of get too cocky and lets the win slips from his hands? But I don't think so. I think good things are coming for him. Yeah, man. But the Dominican boxing's on the way up, man. Dominican boxing is on the way up. And it's funny, like, yo, Dominican boxing has always been the butt of the joke. Always. Like when you're talking to other Latino fans, or even when you're talking to like just boxing fans in general, it don't matter where they're from. They go, yeah, but he's Dominican. Come on, man. Wait, come on, get out of here. Get out of here. Now you can't say that. It's most likely that your favorite fighter this year took a no, not your favorite. Most likely somebody from your country, if you're not Dominican, they took a L. They took a L. If you Venezuelan, don't worry. Hector Luis Garcia, he got one of yours. If you, I think Aquadorf is from Turkey. If you from Turkey, we got one of yours. If you from Brooklyn, or you American, Hector Luis Garcia, he got Chris Colbert the fuck up out of here. You Mexican, Carlos Adames, we got him out of there. And Edwin Los Santos got Rayo out of there, so we got two Mexicans out of there. Like like this year, there's no butt of the jokes anymore. It don't matter where you from. Victor Santillan, you Puerto Rican. Victor Santillan beat a Puerto Rican, beat Caraballo in on the Puerto Rican Day Parade. It don't matter what country you from. This year, most likely, your country took an L to a Dominican. And don't worry, we've taken L's too, right? We De Los Santos lost to William Foster, and I'm not gonna count the Jackson Marinas losing to Frank Martin. Jackson Marinas took that fight on 9 days' notice, but nah, man. Listen, Dominicans, we on the way up. 2022 was the statement year. 2023 is the takeover. That's when boom, boom. Because eventually Michelle got to get his shot, and he gonna beat whoever his biggest test is, he's gonna beat. Puello, I'm hearing, is gonna fight Gary Antoine Russell, who I feel is one of the most overrated boxers in all of boxing. So once Puello beats him, he's gonna get the credit of beating, this top 140 pounder, even though I don't see it as that. But point is, from the masses, he's gonna get that credit. Like, nah, he just beat one of the best at 140 pounders and blah 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 blah. So he's gonna go up. De Los Santos, I don't know who he's gonna get next, but let's say he gets Rolly or Pitbull, or who else is on the PBC side, or 135. Whatever. Point is, one of those guys. He gets one of those guys, Frank Martin. Let's go. Boom, knocks him off. Like, it's going to get to the point where next year we're going to have a lot of wins. Carlos Adames, he's WBC interim champion. If he gets his title shot against Charlo, what if he beats him? Listen, next year, 2023, will be the takeover of Dominican boxing. And, that's when officially we can say Dominicans run boxing next year. This year was just a statement year. This year is when you go to your barber shop and you Dominican and they talking boxing, you can walk in with your chest high and be like, yeah, what's up? Yeah, y'all saw Carlos Adames last week beat the shit out of Montiel in 3 rounds, Oh, but Charlo went to the decision with him. And you can walk in and be like, well, you see my man Hector Luis Garcia, what he did to Chris Colbert, what he did to Gutierrez? You see Puello beat Akhmadov, you can walk into any barbershop, they talking boxing, and hold your head high. That's what this year was about. Next year is when you walk in the barbershop talking shit. When you can walk, what's up? They can be talking basketball. You like, we talking boxing today. Because I'm Dominican and we run shit. That's next year. Don't do that this year. Don't do that this year. Next year, we're going to be able to Start flexing on them. I'm telling you, by August of next year, y'all gonna see. Y'all gonna see. By the way, Eric Rosa, he might fight for. I want to say it's in December. Is when they talking about making a fight. Eric Mini Pac-Man Rosa, they talk about him fighting a knockout Freshmart for that Super WBA strawweight championship. And yo, that'll be a third champion we get. If we could get 3 champions in 1 year, that would be a big, big statement. A big, big statement. Do we have any technical skill Dominican in the 116 pound? You mean 115 pound division? I don't think so. I know Victor Santillán fights at 118, which, you know, I don't know what you said 116. I'm not sure which division you were talking about. At 118, we got Victor Santillán, who I asked Bob Santos just how talented is he? Like, is he somebody we got to watch out for? Basically, he said, oh, he's a talented fighter, but, you know, like, he still has to put the work in. He's still developing and stuff, blah, 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 blah. So I'm not sure how much stock you could put in Santillán, but I'm interested as to see where his career goes. He had that big upset on the Puerto Rican Day Parade that he fought here in New York on the Puerto Rican Day Parade against a Puerto Rican who was Cotto's prospect and got the upset. And he kept getting hit in the back of the head the whole fight. And no points. I don't remember them taking a point. It got to the point where I thought the other fighter should have got disqualified. Fuck taking a point. I thought that they should have got disqualified. Yo, we seen that happen. What happened to Pritchard Colon when he kept getting hit in the back of the head? Unfortunately, that guy's a vegetable now, and I'm not making fun of that. By the way, don't like that. That's not what I'm here to do. What I'm saying is getting hit behind the head is serious blows. And I want to say it was Carlos Caraballo. He kept doing that to Victor Santillán. Santillán complaining to the referee. I'm screaming at the TV, and it was crazy. Yeah. Carlos Caraballo was a Puerto Rican prospect. I was high on him. Yeah. My shout out to Puerto Rican Rum. I knew it was Carlos Caraballo. Yeah, no, he kept hitting, and I guess he was getting frustrated because Victor Santillán was doing some work. I like his performance that night. Again, he was the underdog. He wasn't supposed to win. He was not supposed to go in there and get that upset, and he did. So shout out to Victor Santillán, man. I'm gonna throw the link in the chat just in case anybody wants to call in. I have a guest that he said we and him we had communicated. He was gonna hop on at 12, but then last minute he said you know, that he couldn't do it, that if we could push it later, but I told him I can't because I got things to do later. So I'm gonna just be live up until I have to go. Did you hear Bam Rodriguez talking crap about Lomachenko, saying that Haney is going to take the Lomachenko angles and all that? Haney doesn't have the footwork. Lomachenko throws combinations. Listen, man, I like Loma, but I'm not as high on Loma as some people are. I do think he's a very talented fighter. He has great footwork. He has great angles, but he's not this all-time great, you know, first ballot Hall of Fame type fighter. He's not. Like, you know, that was just a narrative that HBO built. Bam Rodriguez, I haven't heard him say anything bad about Lomachenko, but I'll take your word for it. As far as him favoring Haney, I mean, Haney's the younger fighter. Loma is coming off a long layoff. Loma is, was he 34, 35? Like, he is an older fighter. I could see somebody favoring Haney. I haven't necessarily broke that fight down yet, but as of right now, you know, I can't even make a prediction because I want to see how Lomachenko looks against Jermaine Ortiz, which is next week, if I'm not mistaken. I believe that fight is next week. I think both Santillán and Caraballo should sign with the zone. Eddie Hearn has the major players at 112, 115, and 118. Well, Caraballo is with Cotto, and Santillán is with Schwan Boxing. That's a Dominican promoter, but they do business with everybody. They do business with ESPN, as you saw that fight with Top Rank, as you saw that fight with, you know, Caraballo, that was on ESPN. And then what's his name? Alberto Pollo, he fought on Showtime, which is business with PBC. So they do business with everybody. I don't see why Schwan Boxing wouldn't do business with DAZN and Eddie Hearn if the right opportunity presented itself for him. Bam Rodriguez is just mad that he got exposed in his last fight and couldn't use the Lomachenko style. He there a video of him talking about Lomachenko. I mean, yeah, you're right. I didn't like Bam Rodriguez's last performance. Yeah, I remember right before it was that fight you're talking about was on the undercard of Canelo Triple G. Now my brother, he's kind of like a casual boxing fan, and I told him, I was like, he likes that Lomachenko style, like that kind of defense, slick footwork, and all that stuff. And he was telling me, and I told him, I was like, yo, listen, this is gonna be your favorite fighter. And he was like, all right, we'll see. And I did not like his performance. He made me look bad, man. I was like, damn, man, you had me, promoting you, saying how you're gonna be one of the best fighters. You're gonna be my brother's favorite fighter, and he just shit the bed, to be honest. And it was very disappointing because he had such a great performance against both Quadras and SSR. Like, he had two beautiful performances, and yeah, he just kind of just flopped like that. Yeah, he won, but it wasn't the I listen, and I'll be honest, I don't follow those small divisions like that. I just think he should have looked a lot better. I think he should have looked a lot better than he did. And yeah. But again, I don't know too much about the little division, so that guy could have been much tougher than I thought. Who knows? I honestly have no idea. That was the first time I ever seen that dude fight. Oh, and I want to address something now that I'm live, and we're possibly waiting on an interview. So I want to address something. Like, a lot of people have been like, yo, that's messed up. You're not interviewing this cat. Why are you telling people they got to earn an interview? That's stupid. Blah, blah, blah. Well, one, this is my platform, so I interview whoever the fuck I want. That's just the first part. So if you don't like who I interview, you know what you could do? You can open up your own channel and you can start interviewing people. And two, I only interview people I'm interested in interviewing. I can't just interview anybody, because if I interview anybody, you know what's going to happen? I'm not going to have fun. The point of my YouTube channel is, yes, to possibly monetize, yes, to bring awareness to Dominican fighters, but it's also for me to have fun, me to pique my interest. If I'm just interviewing anybody, just yo, there's a guy who he hit me up on Twitter. Yo, you should interview this guy. He's such a talented fighter. I looked up his record. It's 1-1, and I never heard of him. Another dude was on my chat. Yo, interview this 2-0 Cuban fighter who's 17 years old. What does that do for me? I'm not that curious. I'm not that excited. Now, I need to get excited. When your name gets brought to me, I need to be like, oh, man, I'm excited to interview. Because then I'm organically going to start thinking of questions to ask you. I'm organically going to find interest. Of my audience is going to enjoy the interview more, because they're probably going to be excited as well. Like, oh, snap, he's interviewing De Los Santos after a big win. Oh, he's interviewing Carlos Adames right before his fight. Oh, Samson Lukowitz has a lot of Dominican fighters. Joel is interviewing them, which, by the way, tomorrow, 9 a.m. Pacific, 12 p.m. Eastern, I'm interviewing Samson Lukowitz. He has a lot of Dominican fighters. A lot of you know what I'm saying? Like, I have to be interested in interviewing you. If I'm not interested, it's not going to be a good interview. Go out there, make a name for yourself, earn it the hard way, and then once I'm familiar with you, once you've piqued my interest, I'll go and reach out to you or your management to get an interview. This guy, Cesar Francis, one, we used to train in the same gym together. Two, he's from Brooklyn. And three, in his last fight, he had a sensational knockout. Yo, matter of fact, let me screen share his knockout in his last fight, which explains why I'm interviewing him. Hold on, because sometimes this shit don't be working. Let me see. Yeah, nah, I'm not gonna be able to screen share. But point is, he's nasty with it, man. He's nasty with it. Bam Rodriguez's weakness is taller fighters with long reach. Sure. Hold on. Let me throw the link in the chat in case anybody wants to call in. And we could talk. Y'all know me. I'm a Dominican boxing all day. So if y'all want to talk that, we could definitely talk that. Link is in the bio. I mean in the chat. I'm not gonna pin it. I'm not gonna pin it. Whoever's here listening, if y'all want to call in, y'all can click that link. But I'm not gonna pin it because again, I'm hoping that my guest hops on. If not, I'm gonna have to rename rename the title of this live. But yeah, man. But I'm excited as to what's going on in Dominican boxing. Who I really want to see, man. I want to see that kid Henry Cedeno Martin. Yeah, that dude is. He came on my channel, all that charisma, all that happiness, and his brother's an Olympian. Which, by the way, I got to interview his brother. I got I have interest in his brother. I've seen his brother in the Olympics. And that guy has a very, very extensive amateur background. He fights in the middleweight division. I have a lot of interest in it. And again, I like the fact that him and his brother, him and his brother, have that kind of relationship with a pushing each other. And every time I look on their IG, they running together, they working each other out. His brother's doing the mitts for him. It's a dope relationship they got. I definitely want to get him on the show. Do you see any current Dominican fighter that you think can be a true superstar? When you say superstar, it has to do more than just talent. When you say superstar, it has to do with fame as well. So it has to be with somebody who I think not only could be successful in the ring, but successful at the gate, successful at the pay-per-views and all that. And I want to say Elvis Rodriguez is a good-looking kid, scores knockouts, trains with Freddie Roach, and lives in LA. If he could be moved the right way, and I'm not liking the way his career on the PBC end has gone, where he's only fought since March, but he did have some visa issues. He did tell me that when I met up with him in in August, excuse me. When I met up with him in Florida, he did tell me that he had some visa issues. So I'm not sure if that had anything to do with it, but I would say him, if he's matched up correctly, gets enough belts, and his career pans out the way I think it should, I think he has true superstar potential. Another guy is Michel Rivera. Speaks English. His English is not perfect, but it's definitely better than Triple G's, and good enough where you can understand and he can have a conversation with you. He has that Muhammad Ali shtick where some people find it funny, some people like it, some people don't. But point is, he has the attention, so he has that going for him, and he's in a division with Tank and Ryan and Haney and Loma. So let's just say, who knows? He beats Tank, and let's say there was a rematch clause, and he beats Tank again. This is all hypothetical. And then now he's the big dog, and then let's just say, hypothetically speaking, he gets a fight with Haney or Loma or Tio or all these guys, Ryan, and he starts picking these dudes off. He can easily become a star that way. So those are the only two I see superstar potential. Now, does it work out the way I think it should? I don't know, man. I'll be honest with you. Dominicans aren't being prioritized in any promotional company, to be honest with you. So I find it hard for them to be put in position. But as far as potential, those are the two. They're in the right division. They have the right look. Rivera got the shtick with Muhammad Ali. So when you take all those two things into considerations, I would say those two. But I'm leaning more Elvis than Michelle. That's what I was thinking. Elvis Rodriguez is a beast, but they're managing so bad and barely fights. He needs those big fights. Yeah, man. He had some immigration issues, like as far as his visa issues. I shouldn't say immigration issues. He had some visa issues. Again, when I spoke to him in August, I'm not sure when he got that sorted out, But also October is a slow month in terms of dates, because that's when there's playoff baseball, there's football starting, college football, basketball starting. So it's a lot going on in the sports world. So usually October is a slow boxing date. But I don't know. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens. We'll see. And also that Spence Crawford fight not happening definitely threw a wrench. It fucked shit up a lot, because from what I was hearing, he was supposed to be on that undercard, and the fight was supposed to be November 19th. So that wouldn't have been a bad idea. You know what I'm saying? Like him fight again in November 19th. That would have been a good look for him on the undercard of Spence and Crawford. But again, the fight didn't happen for whatever reason. Do you think Schwan Boxing can become a major player in the promotional game, or will it be stuck just developing prospect for the bigger companies? What I think happens is they develop all these like fighters. Some pan out, some don't. Like Puello, he panned out for them. Mini Pac-Man Rosa, he's panned out for them. Victor Santillán, I wouldn't say he panned out for them just yet, but he's panning out. He's 12-0. He got a big win on that Puerto Rican undercard. But what I look at them as them possibly doing business with PBC, where whenever they have a prospect who pops and they go, oh, like this guy's good, they bring him and do business with PBC, and he'll be on their undercards and stuff like that. But if any of them becomes a superstar, it'll be most likely on Showtime or something like that. I don't see them ever going the ESPN, the Zone route. I don't. So that's how I see them. But I don't ever think they become a big player in the boxing world, as the sense like, oh, they're gonna have in a year 16 events in America. Nah, I don't see that happening. I don't. But they run in the Dominican boxing game down in DR. They have a lot of events. The government supports them, and they have a lot of fighters. Put it like that. All the fighters who don't sign with big time promoters, they get them. You know what I'm saying? The Puellos, the Mini Pac-Mans, the Victor Santillán, the Felix Valera. Who else they got? They have a lot of fighters in DR that are coming up that are under them. Some of these guys weren't Olympians, and maybe they won bronze at the international tournaments, or maybe they won second place when they were competing for the Dominican Olympic team and stuff like that. They have a lot of those like guys that are just developing. And again, you never know who pops. You may have a superstar in your hands and you don't even know it. So Schwan Boxing, also, I got to give them credit. They're another reason why these Dominican fighters are now looking better, because they are now properly developing them in the Dominican Republic. So by the time they come to America and fight their first TV fight, people looking at it like, oh, this is just some Dominican. It's like, nah, this Dominican has been groomed and treated very well by this promotional company, where now they're a sophisticated fighter. So now when you see oh, he's 20-0, yeah, take that as he had 20 experienced fights. You know what I'm saying? Not 20 bums, how they used to do it, like back in the day. They used to throw you in with anybody, and then you come to America, and then they throw you in with a dog, and it's like, oh, man. Yeah. Samson Lukowitz has to sign Henry Cedeno ASAP. That kid is a beast. Samson Lukowitz will be on the show tomorrow. So Billito Ramirez, if you on tomorrow, you can write that same thing in the chat, and I'll post it and I'll let him know, because I am a fan of Henry Cedeno. I do want to see more of him, and I wish he was fighting on TV, especially since he says he can make 135 or 140. I'm going to look at him as a 35 pounder. So especially since he fights at 35, I mean, I like that. I like that. I think somebody needs to sign him. He's good. He's good, man. And then again, his personality was so dope. It was really, really good, his personality. And that translate, like it came across off on our interview. And And a lot of people who watched that interview were like telling me, man, who is this kid? Who is this kid? Who is? And he's another guy, good looking kid, always working out on IG. Every time I go to his Insta story, he's running. He's doing pad work with his brother. And then he has stopped doing it. But there was one thing they were doing every day. They would go after their workout and just wring their shirt. And you would just see the water, the sweat just drop like water from his shirt. And they were doing it every day on the Insta story. Because that's how hard they working out there in DR. And plus, when he trains in America, he's training with Kenny Porter, Sean Porter's father. You know what I'm saying? Like, I like him. I like him a lot. I just hope that he gets put in position to fight on TV. He's only, I think, 7-0. So I can't be too mad as far as him not fighting on TV. But if these other guys are fighting on TV, why not him? Shit. But yeah, man. Hold on one second. Oh yeah, you're right. Strong Boxing does a lot of business with Puerto Rican promotions too. Strong Boxing sends fighters to fight in Puerto Rico and has Puerto Ricans on some of their Dominican cards. That's absolutely true. That's absolutely true. And I did know that. It's, in fact, if I'm not mistaken, doesn't Victor Santillán live in Puerto Rico? She has also a lot of fighters that are Dominican that live and train in Puerto Rico. So they do business with Puerto Rican promoters, as well as bring fighters from Puerto Rico to go develop their prospects in the Dominican Republic. And it's funny, there was a Dominican fighter who was 0-8, and he was fighting a Puerto Rican prospect who was like 6-7-0, something 6-0, 7-0, something like that. And the guy was 0-8 and knocked him out in the first round. And I don't mean just knocked him out. I mean knocked him out cold. And man, Dominicans were celebrating so much. They were saying, yeah, y'all not gonna come here to just build y'all resumes up. Y'all gonna have to watch out. Y'all gonna have to train no matter what the record is. I found this so funny when people would hit me up when that knockout happened. No, but I like I like the fact that again, we're not waiting on American promoters to groom our prospects. We're doing it from the grassroots level in DR. And again, the amateur system, which I've covered here on my channel, where Armando Hernandez, the Cuban coach, who is now the head of the Dominican Olympic team, has instituted a really nice, good amateur pedigree to the Dominican Republic, where now these fighters are coming out and they're looking much, much different than they did before. So I appreciate that, and I'm loving the fact how it's looking. Like, things are changing because of those things that are happening on the grassroots level. From Armando Hernandez, the Cuban coach, developing them in the amateur system, and in the pro Strong Boxing, developing them, and as well as Dominican fighters seeing what failed in the past of the other Dominican fighters, from missing weight to not being disciplined, to seeing those mistakes and going, you know what, I'm not going to do that. Like Michelle Rivera doesn't strike me as the missing the weight type. Elvis Rodriguez don't strike me as that either. Neither does none of these guys do. No, all these guys seem to be very, very disciplined. Very disciplined. I've heard in both DR and PR there are a bunch of Venezuelan prospects looking for dates on shows now. Oh, I haven't heard that. I do know that in DR, a lot of times, if they can't find a Dominican journeyman, what they do is they fly in people from Venezuela. Who's, let's say 12-5 or something like that, and get your undefeated prospect, a guy who coming in to win. But, if your fight is decent, he should beat him. There's a lot of that happening out there. Yeah. Nah, but I'm loving what's coming out of DR, man. I'm loving what's coming out of DR. I just hope that Carlos Adames gets his shot with the WBC interim, or becomes full champion, whatever. That'll be a third champion. Excuse me. Or Eric Mini Pac-Man Rosa gets his shot against Knockout Freshman and gets that win. That'll be 4 champions. If those two things happens, that'll be 4 champions in 1 year. Whew. That'll be crazy. Michelle Rivera is always in shape. The guy trains like 5 hours a day, 6 days a week. Yeah, nah, he's his workouts are legendary. Everybody tells me like, nah, that dude stay in the gym, man. Like he's a hard worker. Like people, his name buzzing as far as you know what he can do in the ring. I mean, in the gym, excuse me, as far as staying in shape. But yeah, man. Anybody want to call in? Feel free, man. Feel free to call in, ask a question, make a comment, or if you just want to chill with me and have a conversation, that's cool too, man. Link is in the chat. But I think Rolly fights Adrian Broner next. Because Rolly's the perfect fight for me for Michelle Rivera. Pitbull Cruz is the perfect fight for me for Edwin De Los Santos. You know what I'm saying? These are the perfect fights I see. Elvis Rodriguez, I would like to see him get Sergey Lipinets, Victor Postol, or a rematch with Kenneth Sims. Any of those 3 fights I'll be satisfied with. Adames, I want him to get his Charlo fight. And hold on, I got my man Juan here.
Yo!
Juan de lo mío, what's up, brother?
Tirado. I'm in the bed crash, man.
Está explotado, all that work.
Explotado. Trabajé, tú sabes, 16 hour shift.
Damn.
Let's go, man. How's everything going?
Everything going good, man. I'm hoping my man show up. I had an interview scheduled today, but my man, he got caught up. He said he couldn't make it on time. So
you know these guys coming late a lot of times. They're busy training, you know.
Yeah.
As long as you send them the link, they'll come in at any time.
No, but you've been watching my channel for a minute, so you know how it goes, bro. I'll be like,
Definitely.
yo, these dudes are coming, but they come late. You know,
there's times I forget that the interview even happened, and then I go back on your shit. He came like an hour and a half later.
No, the worst one was Jason Rosario.
Jason, I never knew he came to the show until I seen it a couple days later, and I'm like, oh shit.
That was the worst one because I'm like, yo, damn, bro, we spoke yesterday.
I'm surprised you stayed on that long.
I was like, because you know what it is with me and Jason, we were in communication like a while ago, and then my fault it didn't happen. So now
you get got him now. It's my fault. Let me try to make it.
I was like, yo, I'm gonna stay on for as long as possible. I don't want to lose this guy. But yo, and he came on and he gave me the dopest interview.
He gave you a great interview. Got real deep into personal things.
To me, that was my best interview.
Things that fighters usually don't admit. He admits to you.
Yo, my man said he came in at 203 for the Lubin fight. I'm like, yeah,
that boy was a regular civilian in between fights.
I'm online to go to a club in Dykeman. Jason Rosario behind me.
He right behind you with a hookah. 203? That should have been illegal for him to come down 60 pounds.
Yo, bro. Se estaba pasando.
Yo, I wanted to talk to you about some things that's going on right now in boxing, man. Hopefully we could get some good traction going on. But how long as boxing fans, man, are we gonna continue to get played, bro? They get played. Like that shit hurted me yesterday with that. I was disgusted. And then and then not even like give us 50-50 fights, man. Give us fights that we're gonna get excited about, man. Like,
I mean, to start off the year, we did get a lot of good fights, but boxing is it goes as the big events go. And the biggest event, at least for the welterweight division and for the pound for pound list, was that Spence Crawford fight. So the fact that fight, they're both undefeated, they both American, they both have all 4 of the belts. If you put both of them together, they're in the glamour division. The fight's been brewing for 4 years. It was that perfect point to be made, and it didn't happen. And I'm not so sure the fight ever happens, man.
No, come on, all the titles aligned, everything together. Like I
Yo,
don't know how you don't make the fight.
undisputed. Yo, the last time, first of all, the welterweight division has never been undisputed in the 4-belt era. So you will be making history. And then the last time the welterweight division was unified, was undisputed, was Zab Judah back in like '05. So you would be the last undisputed champion in the welterweight division in almost 20 years. Like, it had so much historical meaning behind it, and money and legacy and fame and everything you
It
can
was gonna
imagine,
define. It was
and it
gonna
didn't
define
happen.
that star that was gonna go to mainstream. I think in some sense, because this would have been a lot of this win. Whoever would have got this win would have got a lot, and even the loser will still get a lot of love because hopefully it was in a good fight or get the rematch. But I don't see how you not making competitive fights. It just helps the sport and it helps the promotional companies. Because if you're bringing a guy up and you put him in tough, like for instance, Rayo's still a good fighter, but now you got another player in De Los Santos, and now two guys you can promote now. So it's a win-win for everybody when these guys take losses. I don't.
No, and from what my understanding was, the fight between Spence and Crawford was gonna have a two-way rematch clause, anyways. So
Exactly.
let's just say you Crawford lost, you still was gonna get your fight back, or if Spence lost, you still gonna get your fight back. It don't matter. Like, you still gonna have a chance to redeem yourself. And let's say one wins. Let's say you lose the first one and win the second one. We're gonna want to see the third one. So now you got a third fight there. Like,
And something that you said that I didn't even think about. That's why I'm so happy that you're giving us boxing fans insights. Elvis was waiting to be on the undercard of that fight. Because I'm over
that
here wondering, yo, what's up with Elvis? Why he has it? They're trying to promote him right. If you're gonna put him in that type of undercard.
yeah,
And look,
he had some visa issues, but then once he got that sorted out, from when I spoke to people behind the scenes, they were like, yo, that's the fight that they like. The visa issue is now not the problem. The problem is getting this fight announced so we could throw him on the undercard.
wow, yeah. So
And so now, but that costed him.
it's trickle effects basically that affect other things going on.
So now we don't even know if he's gonna fight again this year.
I heard you earlier, man, talking about De Los Santos negotiating with a guy.
Yeah, we got
off the
they
record.
negotiate off. I mean, I can't talk about who. I can't say who he's negotiating with, but they're negotiations, and you guys will like the opponent if the fight happens. But just because you're in negotiations don't mean the fight.
Yeah, that doesn't mean that.
Yeah. So if the fight does happen, and once the fight does happen, of course, I'm gonna break the news. Like, I'm just letting you know now. I'm gonna be the first person who's gonna have the news is me.
Get out of here. Yeah.
100%. First of all, I was the one. I don't know if you know. I was the one who broke the De Los Santos Rayo news.
Yeah. Remember what's the name spoke about it? They were shocked because they didn't know about it first. The boxing voice.
Yeah.
Oh, Joel broke it.
Oh, I didn't even know they did that. They did that?
They did that on their platform. They mentioned you and they say, yeah, this kid Joel, brother Joel, broke the news. I think that's why you got the interview over there, because they knew you kind of knew people.
Yeah, well, I was the one who broke that news, and I'm gonna probably break the news of his next fight, anyways. But especially if it's this next one, the one that they negotiating with, I'm gonna be the one to break that news. And yeah, of course. But let's just say y'all gonna be happy if the fight goes through. If they both sign.
Stylistically, it's a good fight for both of them. I mean,
it's a good fight. It's a good fight for us, the fans. Good fight for them. You guys are gonna be happy.
I got an idea.
Hey, you could take that. You could take that with whatever you want, whoever you think in your head. That's fine. But just know, I ain't say nothing. All I said was they negotiated, and I ain't say not one
exactly.
name.
No, you got to keep your name good, because then if you get into the habit of spilling shit, then that people cut you off.
Nah, for sure, for sure.
And the relationships you have right now, will only having 1.5 subscribers is amazing. Like the insight, Joel. I know you don't like to give yourself a lot of credit, man, but the insight, the knowledge, how close you are with a lot of these fighters, it's not indicative of your subscription list right now. Because
Nah,
you have people that got years in and don't have the access you have to these fighters.
nah, for sure.
And kudos to you and what you're doing.
I appreciate that. Samson Lukowitz is coming on the show tomorrow at 12. And I spoke to Carlos Adames yesterday. We're in talks. He got some things to do. But last we left off, I'm trying to get him on for Wednesday. Me and Carlos. Because I know you hype off that win that Carlos just had. So everybody, my phone be blowing up. Get Carlos. But when I was hitting up Carlos before,
nah, let him chill out. He's chilling out right now.
He was meeting with the president.
All the politicians are behind him. Everybody.
Yeah,
let him enjoy that.
I was like, though. I'm gonna let you go. I'm gonna let you do your thing. So I hit him up yesterday. I was like, yo, can I get an interview? He's like, oh, but claro. But I told him, yo, Wednesday this time. He was like, I don't know if I could do that time. He goes, I'll get back to you. But I'm trying. Interview with Carlos is coming.
Hey, sure. Joel, we got to get the ground working, man, because I feel some big fights are coming to the tri-state area with some Dominicans. We got to get these groups popping. We got to get these sections going. Yeah, because right now we got champions, man. We got people that are going to be defending. Hector Luis Garcia, who he's fighting next?
He doesn't have an opponent. He just went back to Vegas to train with Bob Santos. When was it? Last week? But he doesn't have a set opponent or obvious opponent, but the guy who keeps making the most noise to fight him next is Lamont Roach. He's ranked number 1 in the WBA, which is a sanctioning body that Hector got. I don't know if that's who he's gonna fight next, but that's the only guy who seems to be raising his hand. Like, I want to fight him. But I do like 2 things. So Ray Vargas is gonna fight Oshaki Foster for that vacant WBC 130 belt. Oh. If Ray Vargas could beat him, that's a belt that PBC will have for the 130. Then
unification.
Yeah, that could be a potential unification. Then in the IBF, you have Rakhimov fighting I forget, he's fighting some British guy. I forget the guy.
Who's the Filipino guy that lost to Ray Vargas?
Mark Maxayo.
They can make a lot of great fights at 130 too, man.
Yeah.
Even with Hector Garcia.
So Rakhimov, he's fighting some British guy for the vacant IBF. So if Rakhimov beats that guy, the IBF, that's another fight that goes to the PBC. So those are 2 potential unification matches if the right guy wins. So every Dominican, we need to root hard for Ray Vargas, and we need to root hard for Rakhimov for them to bring those belts to the PBC side. And then who knows? Now y'all got 3 of the fucking belts. Start mingling them. And then if we could get a 3-belt unified champion and Hector Luis Garcia, yo, what a good look that would be.
And to be honest with you, we talk a lot about Michelle. We talk a lot about
Elvis.
We talk about El Caballo. But Hector Luis Garcia has some of the best performances.
He's the best Dominican. He's honestly,
hands down.
You can't argue that.
He embarrassed Colbert. And then to beat the champion easily the way he did, I'm like, man, I don't see nothing crazy special about him. Like, his style is hard. It's hard for me to define. I'm like,
yo, bro, he had over 300 amateur fights, and he was an Olympian. Yo, that type of experience you can't learn in the fucking gym, bro. Either you got it or you don't. So, el que le duela, bro. The best Dominican right now, whether you like his style, whether you like his personality, is Hector Luis Garcia. No matter what the fuck you feel, the best Dominican, the Dominican with the best resume, his name is Hector Luis Garcia. And by the way, when I met him, when I went to Vegas, yo, he's tall for like that weight class. Yo, he's like 5'9" for that weight class. That's tall.
So he could go to 135 eventually.
He could go to 135. I was like, oh shit. When I met him, I was like, I thought you were shorter. He was like, nah. I was pretty impressed with his height.
And he's gonna give you an exciting fight. None of those fights were boring.
Nah, man, coming forward, drop fucking Colbert. He did his thing in that fight, man. He did.
You
his
watched
thing.
that fight live?
Nah. I watched it with my father at home. Yeah, I mean,
No, but you watched it at home live.
Yeah, I went to my father's house for that one. Yeah.
I remember I fell asleep, man, because I was working, man, and I woke up in between the fight, and I see him like this after he knocked him down. I wakes up while he's rushing him, beating him on the ropes, and I'm like, what's going on here? This is not supposed to happen.
I remember when the fight got announced, I was like, man, this dude not beating Colbert.
They about to watch him.
That's what I thought. I'll be honest. I'm not gonna sit here and tell you, yo, I knew I was 100. Nah, I ain't no shit. I was like, man, this dude ain't beating Colbert. Oh. Yo,
he watched them
crazy. And then I had Hector Luis Garcia right after that on my channel, but it was like he was in DR, yo. His
incident was bad.
He was on that one.
I was trying. I stayed on there, but it was horrible.
It was.
You gotta get him back.
I gotta get him back. He in Vegas now, so I gotta hit him up. And
he got better Wi-Fi reception now.
I hope so. I mean,
that's the country down there.
No, but he's a champion now. He better have better service in DR. What about Garcia versus Conceição in Newark? New Jersey has a big Brazilian population. Yo, Brazilians don't buy tickets. Brazilians don't buy tickets. And Conceição is with Top Rank, and Garcia's with PBC. So, nah, I'm good on that.
I don't think they're going to make that fight. Nah. I mean, they could, because it's like, what fight? I mean, that benefits more Top Rank if anything else.
Yeah, like, why the fuck? Yo, Conceição got a title shot. Why would he get another one?
He got 3 titles. He got 2 titles.
He got 2 title shots. He lost to Valdez, and then he lost to Shakur.
And he lost bad to Shakur.
And you want to give him another one with Garcia, and he's not even a PBC fighter?
Nah.
In Newark? Nah, hell no.
You got to.
I know you're from Jersey, but
nah, I still wouldn't want to see that because nobody gives us hand-me-downs. No one gives us nothing. We got to come earn it. Yeah. 1 week's notice, 2 weeks' notice. Yo, brother, shit that they do to us is not for us to win. It's for us. It's meat being brought to the slaughterhouse, basically. De Los Santos was supposed to get slaughtered. Garcia was supposed to get slaughtered. That's to make their A-sides look good. We doing things that are impossible right now to the point where they gotta pay attention.
I was letting you go off because you were saying everything I wanted to say.
Bro, it's the truth.
Yo, we getting it out the fucking mud. Oh,
yo,
yeah.
When Hector Garcia got the call, he was on vacation, bro. I couldn't believe it. Yo,
my man was in Punta Cana.
Yo, should I take this fight? Think about it. You about to go against an elite fighter, and you're not even in condition to fight.
And dominated him. And if he was in full shape, he would have knocked him out. He would have knocked him out. He would have.
Jackson Marinas, 9 days for Frank Martin, and it was a competitive fight for like the first 7, 8 rounds. I was even surprised.
You give him 2 months, and he beats Frank Martin.
Oh man,
so no, we not giving hand-me-downs either, man.
We not giving no. I like somebody that came on your show and said, we shouldn't be so urgent trying to give title shots to people that don't deserve it. Or let's take our time with these belts. Let's take a couple of BS fights, just like they do. Like they do.
Not that you speaking real shit right now.
Come on, bro. Let these Dominican fighters get paid. Let them do a couple of defenses. Let them take a number 6, a number 7. Look at Crawford. He shouldn't be taking no number 6 at this time in his career. A guy we never heard of. But our guys can't do that are really from poverty-stricken neighborhoods. That title's all they got. That title is all they got, and you know it because they don't speak English. That's the only thing that's caught in them, that's making them look like something. So come on, man. Why at 140, why should we give a title shot to Antoinette right away? Put him in there with Elvis. Let him earn it.
Hey, man.
Come on, man.
I got bad news, though. Bad news for you, because I actually like the fight. Bad news, because it looks like you don't like the fight.
No,
Gary,
man, make him let him earn it with Elvis. Elvis gonna give him that work.
now Elvis will knock out Antoine Russell.
But
Elvis will
nah,
knock him
throw
out.
him in there with Puello right away. Let him get that. Let him get that belt without going through hard, greedy fights. Let him go through some. Come on, man, you giving him a title shot?
No, and I'm picking Puello to win that. And y'all may
Yeah, I'm
think I'm
still
buying.
going with my guy. But damn, man.
No, don't
Some
be
people get an
disappointed.
easy
Yo,
road,
bro,
bro.
don't be disappointed. Don't be disappointed because right now, what they doing is they overrating Gary Antoine Russell. And they gonna throw him in that fucking fire and he gonna get burned. That shit gonna hurt. When he fucking goes and he think that Puello is sweet, he gonna realize this is a different type of animal. And I wish Puello had a little bit more power. I think he could have knocked him out.
So
I
what
think he
you're
could have
saying
knocked him
is
out.
most likely that's where it's going.
But I think he's gonna dominate him and he's gonna win the decision. I'll be honest with you. I think Gary Russell gets hit way too easy for a guy as crafty as Puello. I'm telling you, man.
He punches a lot too. Puello punches a lot. He's an
Yeah.
active fighter.
If Puello could get that win, that would be so big for his career and for Dominican boxing.
Yeah, because he's the other guy's the A side, and we all
Yeah.
know it.
And he's not the champion and he the A side. Hear that?
So that's what we saying, man. Like, we love boxing, but the bullshit of the boxing business gets us upset. And I think Poli Malignaggi talks a lot about how some roads are harder for certain people than others. Some people got to get 50-50 fights almost their whole career. And some people get their records pat and always get that position because they got the money behind them.
Nah, and it's just crazy though, man. They make it so easy for these American fighters, bro. It's
They don't want to
crazy.
feel like we hate it because we live here. We love this country.
Yo,
But
before listen, before Chris Colbert was gonna get the shot against what's his name? Against Gutierrez.
Yeah, that was his fight. We're here by luck. We're here because we took the chances and the opportunity. Now
No,
to put us there.
But who Colbert beat?
Come on, you know who he beat. Regular prospects. No,
that's what I'm saying. It's like
killers.
there's no Dominican getting chances like that. When you get a chance against a champion, then you ain't beat nobody. You gotta earn it the hard way.
Oh yeah, you
it's
gotta
all
earn
right.
it.
It's all right though, because we're gonna earn it the hard way. We're gonna go through all the bullshit, but just know your favorite fighter can't hide enough because we're gonna keep working our ways into these mandatory positions. And listen, once we get in position, we gonna make a lot more noise than y'all think.
And you know what's so disgusting too? Look at it like this. We got guys right now that are the top tier in those divisions, and they know it. So they also could work and say, man, let's keep certain people away from this guy for a while. So it's to the point where we gotta get into those mandatory positions. They put Jezreel Corrales in front of each other. At 135, a guy that has been knocked out before, that has lost multiple times, that has never fought at 135. I'm like, how obvious will they make these things?
And Ryan Garcia last two fights were at 140. bro, it's ridiculous what they do to us. But you know what? That's why I got my channel and I have people like you on. I have other Dominicans that call in and we could air our grievances that's what's going on with the injustices in Dominican in boxing to Dominicans.
We got to come with a show like that. Injustices to Dominicans. Se acabó el abuso, hashtag. No, think about it. How scared? I don't know who it is because I know a fighter's probably never scared. But for you to be management, for you to be a promoter, to put so many obstacles in front of that particular fighter, not to get a title shot against Gervonta Davis. And Gervonta Davis is a beast. I don't even think that would be a
look. If Gervonta Davis' next fight is not against Ryan Garcia, it should be against Michelle. That's it. I don't want to see no fucking Tank rematch. You beat him already. Yo, give somebody else a shot. But nah, you want to step in there with Michelle.
That's crazy. A 24-0 fighter, bro.
Bro, he fought on PBC 10
9
times.
times.
10 times. Yo,
You know how
but
many undefeated fighters PBC gave him already to defeat? And he beat them all.
Joseph Adorno was supposed to be this nasty prospect, right? That Top Rank got, right? And you
Watch
saw what
him.
Michelle did to him, cooked his ass.
He said easy work. You see what the post fight?
It was that he's just speaking facts.
And he said the fight wasn't more exciting because he wasn't engaging.
Yeah, my man was running. My man was getting jabbed to this. Hold on. Beito Romero says, if Edwin de los Santos keeps beating big names and his resume is looking good, I think they're going to throw him in there with Javante. Now, that's a big fight.
I wouldn't even be mad.
What do you think, Broadway? I mean, I like the fight, but honestly, I don't like him skipping the line ahead of Michelle. I think Michelle should go first.
Yeah, but if he gets another exciting knockout over a top fight, come on now.
If his next fight he fights the guy
that you think and he knocks him out,
he should get the Tank fight. If he knocks him out, he should get the Tank.
And it's fucked up because Michelle is doing all the work.
Nah, but I would want him to fight Michelle first.
Yeah, I think he deserves.
Yo, but bro, Michelle's been in line for a minute, man, for a long time. Come on, my man deserves a big fight.
Hey, bro, wait. One thing that I wanted to ask you: if Haney goes up,
yeah,
all those belts get broken up now, right?
Yeah, they all become vacant.
How do you feel about that? With all the people we got at 135 now, all the young champions that we got.
Thing is, right now we wouldn't be fighting for none of the vacant titles.
Obviously not. Not even Michelle.
Not even Michelle, because he's not even ranked number 2. The number 2 and the number 1 guys of each division will have to fight each other for the vacants. And I think in the WBC, number 1 is Vasil Lomachenko. Number 2 is Isaac Cruz.
Oh, man.
You know, it's the typical names, bro. It's the typical names.
Now, man, I'm telling you. This guy, to me, he's overrated, man.
Yo, he's
he's a good come forward fight that hits hard, but you put him in there against somebody else who's going to give him work. Look, his last 2 opponents have been disgusting.
Yo, you know who I would like for Michelle, his next fight, if he doesn't get a Tank fight, is Frank Martin.
That's a great fight for him because he's being promotally heavy. What does it matter for Michelle to keep winning these fights if he doesn't get a big name? Look, De Los Santos got a big name, and look where he's at right now in his career.
Nah, his name buzzing. His name buzzing for sure. His name comes up in my chat every time I go live.
What does it tell you? He needs names. He needs people like your father said when we was at the fight. Él necesita gente que le sumen a su carrera. Straight up. And I noticed why he said that now, because if you don't get those names, you don't get into the the casuals, the boxing fans throughout. You don't get in their ears. And they're the ones that push these fights.
Nah, real shit. Yo, but Juan, I gotta go.
It's been a pleasure, my guy.
Unfortunately, my interview didn't happen. I gotta rename the title of this. But,
you already know, my boy.
But I'll be on tomorrow with Samson Lukowitz.
I'm definitely gonna tap in for that, man.
Yeah. If you, I may throw up the link for the people.
I gotta stop missing the alerts, man.
Yeah,
I got you on the alert, but sometimes I'll be missing it. I wish you could come through my text messages, like, yo, bro, and Joel's about to come.
Nah. But all right, my man, I'm gonna holler at you guys.
Inbox me before you go live on IG if you can.
I got you.
Do that for your people that follow you too, man, so we can be there live with you.
I got you. All right, bro. Tomorrow, 9 a.m. Pacific, 12 p.m. Eastern, Samson Lukowitz right here, live and direct. So hopefully you guys show up and it should be a good one. I got a lot of questions for Samson. All right, guys. Until next time, peace.